Hello, welcome back to 1920 Strat-O-Matic Baseball. My Chicago White Sox replay. Today, the Washington Senators are in town for an exciting series. As of now, the White Sox are 29-19 in first place. The Washington Senators are in second place, one game behind at 27-19. And Walter Johnson will be taking the mound for the Senators today. The 32-year-old he had an off year this year. As you know, in 1924, the Senators went to the World Series in large part to Walter Johnson. But this year he had an off year. But in the replay, he's pitching pretty well. So we'll see how it goes. On the mound for the White Sox, we got Roy Wilkinson. So far, we are 2-2 versus Washington. This is their first visit to Comiskey Park. We split 4 at Griffith Stadium. So this will be the first time the Senators have visited Chicago. So you can see we got our tabletop there ready to go, and we'll get this game started. Should be a good one. So leading off for the Washington Senators will be Howie Shanks. He is hitting .315 with 6 RBIs so far. The first baseman today. And Roy Wilkinson comes into the game, as you can see there, at 5-2 with a save, with a .460 ERA. So his win-loss record is better than real life, but his ERA and stats are pretty close. He has given up 6 home runs already. He only gave up 6 in real life, so he is ahead of the game there. So here we go. And we get a 2-6, and that's going to be a ground ball to McMullen to lead off the game. One away. The utility McMullen is playing because Swede Risberg is out of the lineup with an injury, and Buck Weaver, who's normally the third baseman, has moved to shortstop. So that's McMillan's getting some playing time. Due up next is Clyde Millen, or Milan. He's hitting .257 with 25 RBIs. He hit .322 in real life, so he is underperforming substantially. He gets a 6-9, and that's going to be a double. That's going to be his 5th double of the year. And the Senators threaten early. So Sam Rice, who hit .338 in real life, is hitting .320 today. No home runs, 25 RBIs. And here is the pitch from Wilkinson. That's a 2-9, and that's going to be a ground ball back to the pitcher. Wilkinson will field it cleanly. Look Milan back to second, and throw him out for out number 2. So that was very good for the White Sox. So that'll bring Brago Roth. He is hitting .384 with 8 home runs, 38 RBIs. So here is Wilkinson seeing if he can get out of the inning. And that'll be a strikeout with a 1-9. So good job by Wilkinson. He's able to get out of the jam with that double. And we will go to the bottom of the first. Washington 0, Chicago coming to bat. So far, Walter Johnson is 4-5 with a .221 ERA. He had a .313 in real life, which is high, which isn't bad, but it's not Walter Johnson level. He won 23 games in 1924. Hit the thing there. Sorry about that. So anyway, but he is doing well in the replay, so we'll see what he does here with the White Sox. Leading off is Hall of Famer Eddie Collins. He's hitting .408 so far this year. Home run, 31 RBIs. That's a 5-5, and with a 4, that's going to be a base hit. So Eddie Collins will lead off with a hit. We'll see what his steal chances are here. So he's got a 25% chance of getting a lead, and then if he does, it's a 1-14. So I think I'm going to hold him there. Let's let Shane O'Collins, who is hitting .307, a home run, 20 RBIs. We'll step to the plate, righty versus righty here. The Senators will be in at the corners expecting a possible bunt. That's a 4-11, and that's going to be a fly ball out to Millen in left field. He puts it away for out number 1. It'll be, I'm doing as played with this replay, so it will be interesting if the White Sox do win the pennant, because they were, 7 of them were banned from baseball with like less than a week left to go in the season. So if we make it to the World Series as played, that would be incredibly exciting. So we'll see how it goes. Shoeless Joe Jackson, one of the best hitters ever. He's hitting only .455 to lead the American League. He has 5 home runs, 37 RBIs. He also is in a current 13-game hit streak. So he gets a 6-8, and that's going to be hit hard, but right at Shanks at first. So he hit it on the screws, but couldn't find a hole, and there's 2 away. Happy Felsch, center fielder extraordinaire. He's leading the American League with 53 RBIs. He has 6 home runs, which is pretty impressive for 1920. Other than Babe Ruth, there wasn't too many people hitting home runs in 1920. So that's a 6-4, and that'll be a X chance for Rice in center field, who's a 220. So he's a pretty good fielder. We'll see how it goes. So he gets a 13, so he's able to get to it, and he gets a 10, so he makes the play. Great play by Sam Rice. So no runs on a hit, no errors, a runner left, and so after 1 complete, we are at no score. So Red Shannon will start off things here in the top of the second. He's hitting .301 with 13 RBI so far. Here is the left-handed Shannon versus the right-handed Wilkinson. That's a 5-6, and that'll be a fly ball out to Liebold in right field. Makes a few steps to the foul line, puts it away. Out number 1. Frank Ellerby is hitting .244 so far in the replay. Playing third base today for Washington. And he gets a 2.617, so he's not going to hit the split there, so that will be a line out. I do have the computer set to redistribute the outs, so it may not be a line out. We get a 17 on the 20. Yep, line out to shortstop, so 2 out for Wilkinson, looking to get his 6th win of the season. And that'll bring up Jim O'Neill, playing shortstop today. He's hitting .320 so far. So 2 out, nobody on. That's a 3-3, and that's going to be a single to right field. So Liebold will field it and throw it back in to second. And so O'Neill gets on with 2 outs. He's a 60% chance stealer, so we will hold him at first. And that'll bring up Val Pacinich, backup catcher. He's hitting .259 so far. They're going to let him hit away. So here is the pitch. He does have 2 home runs and 54 at-bats, which is pretty impressive for 1920. And that's a 3-10, but this time he will go down on strike. So not able to catch up to Wilkinson's fastball. And that'll do it for the Senators here in the second. No runs, a hit, no errors, 1 runner left. Bottom of the second, still nothing. So, Buck Weaver will take his place in the right-handed batter's box. Big Walter Johnson back on the hill. Buck Weaver is hitting .322. He has 42 RBI so far. A very good hitter in his own right. He gets a 4-7, and that's going to be a single up the middle. So for the second inning in a row, the White Sox get their leadoff hitter on. Hopefully they'll be able to do better with it than they did the first. So they're going to bring the corners in for Ray Chalk, who is hitting .273, 26 RBIs. Hall of Fame catcher. LeBold and McMullen both aren't very good hitters, so I'm going to let Chalk hit away. He gets a 6-6, and that'll be a fly ball out to Rice in center field. Puts it away for out number 1. Nemo LeBold playing right field. He's hitting .234 with a home run and 18 RBIs. So here is the pitch from the big train. That's a 5-8, and that'll be a ground ball X to Shannon, who is a 427. So we have a good chance here of something good happening for us. Not a very good defender at second. So he gets a 9, so he is going to get to it. And he gets a 7-9, and he makes the play. So and it was a slow number, so he's only able to go to first. So Weaver will end up at second with 2 outs for Fred McMullen. So he is such a poor hitter. They're going to go ahead and pitch to him and then hopefully start off the next inning with the Wilkinson. So far McMullen's is hitting 188. He's not a bad fielder, but not much with the bat. So he's going to line out. Looks like he gets a 4-3. Got a 16 on the 20. And they're going to change it to a pop-out, which is fine. So that's a pop-out on the infield. O'Neill calls everybody off. And for the second inning in a row, the White Sox get a leadoff runner on just to leave him there. So after 2, it's 0-0. One thing that surprised me about this 1920 is the amount of offense. There's not a lot of home runs, but other than that, there's a lot of offense. So I didn't know that about 1920. I figured it was close enough to dead ball that it wouldn't be like that, but it is. So all right, Walter Johnson, who hits .266, will be up. Again, the computer actually has pitcher hitting cards, so I've just got the pitcher hitting cards, generic ones, just to keep my place. So you have to trust me on this one. It's on the screen. So that's a 111, and that will be a fly ball out to LeBold in right field. Out number 1. So Walter Johnson could hit, looks like, at least a 1920. Howie Shanks will step up to the plate. He grounded out to McMullen to start the game. And he gets a 1-5, and that's going to be a triple. That'll be his 3rd triple of the year. And then he gets a 4 on the 20. Oop, I got it. Thank goodness for the undo button. So let's try this again. A 1-5. Got a 4 on the 20, and so he will be at third base with a triple. So there's just 1 out. There's a lot of offense this year, so I'm going to go ahead and concede the run. So we'll keep our infield back. Under normal circumstances, if Johnson had the kind of year he normally did, I would bring the infield in. But again, he's hittable this year some, so that'll bring up Clyde Millen, who doubled his first at bat. He gets a 4-5, so that'll be an X chance for Weaver, who is not as good of a shortstop as he is a third baseman. So 4-5, he's a 331, so hopefully he can make the play here at least. So he gets a 19, so he gets to the ball. He gets a 14. Ooh, just misses. So good play by Weaver there. But that will get a run across. And Senators are on the board first. RBI for Clyde Millen. So with 2 out, nobody on, Sam Rice will take his hacks. He bounced back to the pitcher in his first effort of the game, still hitting .318 for the year. He gets a 2-5, and that'll be a ground ball to Shano Collins at first base. He will take it to the bag himself, and that'll do it for the Senators here in the third, but not before they can get a run on 1 hit. No errors, nobody left, and we go to the bottom of the third. The Senators up by 1. So Wilkinson will lead off the festivities here in the bottom of the third. He's a 146 hitter in real life. So that's a 4-4. That'll be a catcher's X, and he is a percentage is a 4.8. So that's a 4-4. So we will re-roll for the defensive chance. He gets a 10 on the 20 and then a 13, so he's not going to make an error, and that's a pop out in fair ground, and that'll be the first out of the third for the White Sox. Eddie Collins, who singled in his first at bat. We'll see what he can do here. Hall of Famer versus Hall of Famer. That's a 4-6, and that's going to be trouble. That's a 19, so that's going to be a double, which will be the 16th of the year for Collins. So Collins not having any trouble with Walter Johnson today. Finds himself on second base with 1 out. Shano Collins, who flew out in his first effort. So Johnson will definitely pitch to him because he'd rather face him than Shoeless Joe or Happy Felch. So here's the tying run on second base, 1 out. That's a 1-12, and that'll be a ground ball to Ellerby at third. And he looks Eddie Collins back to second and throws across the infield for out number 2. So good job there by Johnson to get that ground out. So with 2 out, it's up to Shoeless Joe. And they're going to go ahead and pitch to Shoeless Joe because, again, Happy Felch is on deck. So pick your poison. So Shoeless Joe hit it hard to Shanks at first, his first at bat. That's a 5-4. That'll be an X chance for Ellerby, who is a 339. So not the greatest fielder in the league, but we'll see if he's able to handle this ground ball. So he gets a 12, so he gets to it, and he's got a 14, and he's gonna boot it though. So 1 base error by Ellerby will put Collins at third. Shoeless Joe Jackson on first with the E5. So the White Sox have runners on the corners for Happy Felch. Again, Happy's leading the American League with 53 RBI, so here's a chance for him to get another one. He flew out to Rice in his first at bat, so big at bat here early in the game. Is a 2-11, and he's going to hit a ground ball to Ellerby. Ellerby will fire on to Shanks, and Johnson is able to get out of the jam. So missed opportunity there by the White Sox. They get no runs on 1 hit, 1 error, 2 runners left. After 3 complete, Washington 1, Chicago nothing. So we got 4, 5, and 6 due up for Washington. Brago Roth was a strikeout victim back in the first. Here's Wilkinson with the pitch, and that's a 1-9, and he strikes out again. So Wilkinson confounding Roth today. 1 out. Red Shannon, second baseman for the Senators, steps into the plate. Lefty versus righty. He hit a fly ball out to LeBold, his first at bat, and he will hit a ground ball here on a 1-12. Over to Eddie Collins. He throws on to his brother by another mother, Shane O'Collins, and there are 2 out here in the top of the 4th. Frank Ellerby. He was lined out to Weaver. 2 out, nobody on. That's a 4-6, and that's going to be a walk. So that'll be the first walk today, given up by Roy. So Washington looking to get something going with 2 outs. Ellerby is a good enough stealer that we will hold him on first, and that brings up Jim O'Neill. He singled in his first at bat. Here's the pitch for Wilkinson. It's a 5-11, and that's a strikeout. So Wilkinson gets his 4th strikeout of the day. Not a lot of strikeouts in 1920 either. But that's the 4th for Wilkinson. And that'll do it for the Senators. So they get no runs, no hits, no errors. 1 runner left. Bottom of the 4th. Still 1-0 Senators. Buck Weaver. So we got 5, 6, and 7 for the White Sox versus the Hall of Famer Walter Johnson. Weaver singled in his first at-bat. Was left stranded on second. Back in the second. That's a 5-12. That'll be a X chance for Shanks at first, who is a very bad 430. So a good chance of something good here for Buck Weaver. Here is the roll. So that's an 8 or a 4. Oh, I got knocked. So that's going to be a single. And we got a 6-7. So he doesn't make an error, but he's not able to field it. So lack of defense there. Puts Chicago in business to lead off the bottom of the 4th. So they're going to bring the corners in for Ray Chalk. Let's see what Weaver's stolen bases opportunity. So now he's a 19% chance of him out trying, and I get that all the time. So I'm not gonna chance it. So I'm gonna let Chalk hit away. He had flew out to Rice in his first at bat. That's a 4-9, and he's going to strike out. So. Not able to catch up with the high fastball there. Chalk is a strikeout victim. That's the first one today for Walter Johnson. Nemo LeBold grounded out in his first effort of the afternoon. It wasn't any night games in 1920, all-day games. This is Saturday, June the 12th, by the way. And that's a 5-12. That's another Shanks opportunity at first base. He was able to handle the first one. Let's see what he does with the second opportunity of the inning. So he gets a 17, so he gets to it. Or actually, he wasn't able to get to his first one, so he gets a 7, so he makes this play. Looks like that's going to be all he's able to do is to get the out at first. And Weaver will go on to second. So we'll do that 3-1. 2 outs for Fred McMullen. And again, he is a poor enough hitter that Johnson's going to go after him and see if he can get Wilkins to lead off the next inning. So McMullen popped out his first at bat. He gets a 4-8. And he's going to come through this time. So that's a 4-8. He gets a 6 on the 20, but unfortunately that's a 1 star. So we'll call that an infield hit. So Weaver's only able to get to third. So with runners on the corners, Roy Wilkinson has a chance to help himself. first and third, 2 out. Johnson in another pickle. He was able to get out of last innings. Wilkinson hits 146. So, but wow, he hit the pitcher's card. So that's going to be a 2-star single. So Wilkinson comes through. A 15 on the 20 keeps him from getting a triple. So we have a tie ball game. So Buck Weaver scores from third. Fred McMullen makes it to third. Wilkinson drives in the first run for the White Sox today, and that will bring up Eddie Collins with a chance to do more 2-out damage. Collins is 2 for 2 with a double, his 16th of the campaign, and he gets a 6-6, and that's going to be popped up on the infield. Shannon will wave everybody off. And that'll do it. But not before the White Sox tie it up. They get 1 run on 3 hits, no errors. They did leave 2. And after 4, we are knotted at 1. So Roy Wilkinson will do 8, 9, and 10 here for the Washington Senators. Pacinich is a strikeout victim. Wilkinson has 4 today. He gets a 4-6, and that's going to be a leadoff walk. So don't want to walk the 8th batter, but that's what he did. So that's the second walk given up by Wilkinson. Walter Johnson will come in. We will bring the corners in. So Walter Johnson can hit, but we'll see if he wants to bunt. Nope, they're going to let him hit away. So here's the pitch. That's a 6-3. That'll be a Joe Jackson X chance. He's a 113, so he's a very good fielder. So a good chance he will take care of business. So he gets a 7 on the 20, so he gets to it, and he gets a 8-9. And so nice play by Jackson there. Great play, actually, it says. So Johnson robbed of a hit. And that'll be 1 out with Pacinich still on first. And we will put our infield back at normal. Howie Shanks. He tripled and scored back in the 3rd. That's a 3-10. That's going to be popped up on the infield. Shane Collins will call this one. And there are 2 outs. For Clyde Millen, who has doubled and grounded out to drive in a run. That was his 26th run batted in of the campaign. So Millen looking for a 2-out clutch hit here. And that's a 2-2, and that'll be grounded to Shane Collins. Take it to the bag himself, and we are still tied at 1. So no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 runner left. That's 4 left on base today by the Senators. So bottom of the 5th. We got 2, 3, and 4 for Chicago to face the big unit. Shane Collins is 0 for 2. Still has his average over 300 at 301. He gets a 5-7, and he's going to go down swinging. Second strikeout today by Walter Johnson. He only pitched 144 innings this year, so he must have been hurt. That probably would explain the sub-Walter Johnson numbers, too. But he got Shane Collins there. And he will focus his attention on the great shoeless Joe Jackson, who is lined out and reached on an error. Here's Johnson's delivery, and Jackson's going to pop it up on the infield. So, again, that high Walter Johnson fastball, Jackson wasn't able to get on top of it. And that's popped out to Shannon, who waves everyone off. 2 away. Happy Felsch, who is 0 for 2. We'll see what he can do with Walter Johnson. That's a 2-7, and that'll be grounded to O'Neill at short. Sets and throws. And the White Sox go down in order. So we go to the top of the sixth, still tied at 1. Three, 4, and 5 for Washington here in the top of the sixth. Roy Wilkinson pitching a good game. Sam Rice is 0 for 2. He's the best hitter in the lineup today for the Senators. He gets a 4-8, but that'll be a fly ball out to Happy Felsch. He tracks over to left center, calls off Shoeless Joe, and puts it away, out number 1. Brago Roth is 0 for 2. He has struck out twice. Seeing if he can figure out Wilkinson here. Third time's a charm, hopefully, for him. That's a 2-5, and he's going to draw a walk this time, so he waits him out. And that'll be walk number 3 today by Wilkinson. So 1 out base runner. He is a good enough stealer that we will hold him on. Red Shannon, who is 0 for 2, will take his place in the left-handed batter's box. Here is the delivery from Roy Wilkinson. That's a 5-8, and that will be a ground ball. Which is what Wilkinson wanted. Over to Eddie Collins, on to Buck Weaver, on to Shane Collins. 4-6-3, inning-ending, double play. So, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the sixth, still 1-1. Here on a beautiful Saturday, June day in Chicago. Buck Weaver, 5, 6, and 7 due up. Buck Weaver is 2 for 2. He scored the only Chicago run today. He gets a 1-7-17, so he's going to be unsuccessful. That's a line to Ellerby, but Ellerby stabs it for the first out of the inning. Ray Chalk, who is 0 for 2. Just gets into the right-handed batter's box. Here's Johnson. That's a 6-9. That'll be a next chance for O'Neill at short, who is a 4-44, so not a good fielder at all. Matter of fact, most of the Washington fielders are subpar or worse. So he gets an 11, so he does get to it, and that's going to be a 10, and so he makes the play. Nice play by O'Neill there. There's 2 away, so Johnson's getting some good defensive work behind him. And Nemo LeBold, we'll see if he can get a 2-out rally going here. He's grounded out twice. He gets a 1-5, and that'll be a single to right field. So Roth takes it on 2 bounces, fires it back to the infield. He is not a great, they're holding him on first. And he's got a 50 chance of getting the lead, a 50% chance of being out trying, so don't like those odds. So that gives us Fred McMullen, backup infielder. He is singled and popped out. Seeing if he can at least get on base to get Wilkinson through the lineup. He gets a 3-8, but he's not able to do it as he grounds it to O'Neill. O'Neill will go the easy way to second, and that's it. So, no runs on a hit, no errors, runner left, and we go to the top of the seventh, still 1-1. Frank Ellerby will lead off for the Senators. Just 3 hits today for the Senators, whereas Chicago has 7. 1 error for the Washington club. Ellerby is walked, lined out. He gets a 5-6, so that'll be a ground ball to McMullen. He fields it cleanly and throws him out for the first out of the inning. Jim O'Neill is singled and struck out. That's a 3-2, and that's going to be a walk. That's the 4th walk given up by Wilkinson. He's a little wild today. So far, it hasn't cost him. So Val Pacinich will be up. We're going to hold O'Neill at first. So here is the pitch. Gets a 1-7, and that's going to be a ground ball too short. Weaver to Collins. Collins to his like-named first baseman. And that's the 7th inning stretch. So that's a 6-4. 6-4-3. So that's the second double play the Senators have hit into. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. Bottom of the 7th, 1-1. Got a good game going here. Beautiful Chicago afternoon. So Roy Wilkinson will lead off. He has driven in the only run for the White Sox today. He gets a 6-6, so that'll be a fly ball out to Rice in center field, out number 1. Eddie Collins, he's 2 for 3. Got his average up to 412. And he gets a 6-6, and that'll be popped up on the infield again. Nice riding fastball by Walter Johnson. So he's not getting a lot of strikeouts, but he's getting them to pop up a lot. So fastball is moving up. So Shane Collins, we'll see what he can do with 2 outs, nobody on. He's 0 for 3 today with a strikeout. That's a 6-9. That'll be a next chance for O'Neill at short, who again is a 444. So see what he's able to do with the chance. And he gets a 14, so he gets to it. 7-8, and he's going to boot the ball. So that's the second error today for for Washington. Ellerby with the other error. So that'll bring Shoeless Joe Jackson to the plate with an opportunity to do some damage. So far, he's 0 for 3. So Walter Johnson's been able to keep the great Shoeless Joe Jackson quiet. That's a 4-8, and that's going to be a walk. So Chicago's got something going here with 2 outs. Runners on first and second for the RBI leader in the American League, Happy Felsch. Big at bat here. Felsch looking to do some 2-out clutch hitting. Here is Johnson's offering. That's a 4-10-20. So he's not. Oh, hang on a second. I hit the wrong button there. Edit undo. Yes, let's try that again. So that's a 4-10. We got a 20 on the 20, and that's a fly ball to left fielder after all. So it worked out the same. So Happy Felsch not able to deliver with 2 outs. Walter Johnson is able to get out without any trouble. Another 2 runners left for Chicago. They've left on 9 so far. So go to the top of the 8th. Still 1-1. So Roy Wilkinson will start off with Walter Johnson. He gets a 6-7. That'll be an X chance for Eddie Collins, who is a fine fielder. He's a 123. He did have an error in yesterday's game versus the Red Sox, which we ended up losing. So he gets a 16, so he gets to the ball, and he gets a 10, so he will make the play. Nice play by Eddie Collins to retire Walter Johnson, 1 away. Howie Shanks, who has tripled and scored in 3 at-bats, steps in, righty versus righty. That's a 4-7-14, so that's going to be an out. 14 on the 20. Is a ground ball to Shane Collins, and he will flip to Wilkinson, out number 2. So Clyde Millen, he has driven in the only run today for the Senators on a ground ball. He also has a double to his credit. That's a 1-5. That's another ground ball to Shane O'Collins. He'll take it himself this time. And the Senators go down in order. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. Still 1-1. So White Sox seeing if they can get to Johnson. Buck Weaver, who is 2 for 3 with a run scored, will start off. He gets a 3-9, and that'll be a ground ball to O'Neill at short. Throws on to first for out number 1. Ray Chalk, who is 0 for 3. He gets a 6-4. That'll be a X chance for Rice in center, who is a 220. That's a pretty high E rating, but we'll see how he does. So that's a 3, so he's not able to get to the ball. And that's a 6, and he makes an error to boot, so that could be costly. So a single, and then he's not able to field it cleanly. Schalk, who hustles out of the box, is able to get to second. They're going to charge Rice with an error. That's the 3rd error today by the Senators. So an E8. So with 1 out, the go-ahead run is on second base for Nemo LeBold, who has singled in 3 at-bats. Looking to see if he can make the hometown crowd happy. He gets a 6-2, 17, so that's not going to do it. Fly ball to right field, caught by Roth. Chalk has a chance to move up. So it looks like the only out chance is a 20. So you hate to make that 3rd out at 3rd, but I'm going to try because those odds are pretty good. And he gets a 4, so he's going to make it into 3rd. So he can score on a pass ball or a wild pitch, perhaps. So the go-ahead run at 3rd. Nemo flied out to right field for the 2nd out. And that'll bring up Fred Mullen, and they're going to go with him again because his average is just 197. So he's not much better than a pitcher. So here's a chance. McMillan does have 1 hit and 3 at-bats today. He gets a 4-2, and that will be a fly ball to Milan in left field. Can of corn, and that'll do it here in the 8th. So no runs, a hit, an error, another runner left. We go to the top of the 9th, 1-1. So 3, 4, and 5 up for the Senators here in the top of the 9th. Wilkinson seeing if he can continue to hold the Senators down. Rice is 0 for 3. He gets a 1-6, and he is going to start off with a single to right field. So that's the 4th hit of the day for the Senators. And he's a pretty good hand to steal, looks like, so we're going to hold him. And I'm going to bring the corners in because this is a good time to bunt. So we'll see what they do. So Rice is not able to get a lead. And so they're going to let Brago Roth go ahead and hit. He has walked and struck out twice. He gets a 3-7, and that's going to be a base hit to center field. Felsch fields it. They're going to try to wave Rice to 3rd. He's got a 1-16 chance. We don't want him on 3rd, so I'm going to throw for the lead runner because his run is the one that counts. So here we go. Let's see what we got. And that's a 12, so he's going to be in under the tag. Roth's going to make it to 2nd on the throw. So the Senators are threatening big time. So they've got nobody out. Runners on 2nd and 3rd for Red Shannon, who is 0 for 3 today. We will bring the infield in. Oop, that wasn't what I wanted. Hang on a sec. So the infield in. All right, so Red Shannon trying to cut off Rice at home. He's a 17 runner. Roth's a 16 runner, so they've got some speed on the bases. That's a 5-3. That's a pitcher's X chance. Wilkins is a 4-11, so he don't make many errors, but his range isn't anything to write home about. So we got a 5-3. So let's see what he's able to do. Oh, dang it. So that's a 7, so he gets to the ball, but that's a G3. That could be bad. That's an 8, so he doesn't make an error. So let's see what happens. Ground ball back to the mound. They're going to give the green light. Oh, man. So it's a 1-17 safe chance. And we're gonna throw for the runner. Here it is. And that's a 7. So he's in under the tag. And the Senators go up by 1. So got some excitement there. So that'll be a fielder's choice for Shannon. He does get the RBI, and the Senators are up 2-1 and still threatening with runners on the corners and nobody out. So let's, I think we'll bring the corners in. We'll go ahead and take the double play up the middle if we can get it. We're going to hold Shannon at first. So here's Frank Ellerby, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. And looks like Shannon's going to try to steal 1-12. He makes it. So we're going to throw to see if we can get him. And that's a 19. He's nailed. So Ray Chalk with the bullet down to second base. Eddie Collins applies the tag. And that is a big out. So that's the first out of the inning. So that Frank Ellerby's still up, so we'll bring the infield in now. Dang it, I keep intentionally walking people. I don't want to do that. Okay, so infield in. There's 1 out. Got Brago Roth on third base. Senators up 2-1. That's a 2-6, and that's going to be a single. So Ellerby finds a hole. He gets an 8. He needed a 1-9, and he got an 8 on the 20. So that's a big, big third run for the Senators. So single, an RBI for Ellerby, and that's 2 runs for the Senators. Wilkinson is tired. All right, we'll see if Wilkinson. Let's see. We'll go ahead and replace him. Let's see. It's been a while since I've played Strat-O-Matic. I'm trying to remember how to do that. So home pin, I think, is what I want. So normally Dickie Kerr is our reliever. All right, so let's we'll do the home. There we go. So Dickie Kerr will be in. See, Wilkinson is due up. Let's see, who else do we got? Let's see if I got anybody that can. Eddie Murphy can play third base. He's not a good third baseman, but we'll put him in the pitcher spot. Bring Kerr in to the 8 spot. There we go. All right, so let's get Dickie Kerr's card. Dickie Kerr is 2-4 with 3 saves with a 4.50 ERA. So he will see what he can do with O'Neill here. We will put the infield back. So there's 1 out. Ellerby on first. Senators up 3-1. That's a 2-7, and that will be an inning-ending double play. So Weaver to Collins, and that will do it for the Senators here in the ninth, but not before they do the damage. So they get 2 runs on 3 base hits. No errors, nobody left. So here we go to the bottom of the ninth. Chicago down by 2. Walter Johnson seeing if he can finish the job. So he will do battle with Eddie Murphy, who is hitting .340. So he's got Murphy, Collins. He's got his work cut out for him here. Shoeless Joe is due 4th if they can get something going here. So Murphy is a lefty. He is in at 3rd base. So here we go. Eddie Murphy would get his first at bat of the afternoon. He gets a 5-4. That's an X chance for Ellerby at 3rd, who has made 1 error today already. So he gets a 12, so he's able to get to it. He gets a 7-11, and he's able to make the play. Oh, wait a minute. That's a 6-10. Still, he's able to make the play. So nice play by Ellerby there. 1 away. Eddie Collins, who is 2 for 4. He has popped out to 2nd base twice. He gets a 5-10, and he goes down swinging. Eddie Collins only struck out 19 times in 602 at-bats. So that doesn't happen very often. But Walter Johnson has been saving a little bit back just for that opportunity. And he blows it by him. So 2 outs for Shane Collins. So it's up to Shane here. He's 0 for 4. He has reached on an error. The fans on their feet hoping for a miracle here on the ninth. That's a 5-8. That's a X chance for Shannon at 2nd, who is a horrible 4-27. So let's see if Shannon can field this one. So he gets a 17, so he gets to the ball, and he gets a 12, and he is going to make a great play. So nice job by Shannon, and that will do it in the ninth. So there you have it. A great game here from Comiskey. That will put Washington tied with us. New York got beat by Cleveland today. New York is just 1 game out, and Cleveland is 2 games out. So we've got a really good race going here. So great game. Hope you enjoyed that. I know I did. I would have liked to have won, but it is really great seeing these guys that you heard about play. And, Shoeless Joe Jackson, Walter Johnson. I mean, that's pretty cool. So anyway, I appreciate it very much, and I will see you next time.